Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So happy to see everyone here this morning. If you would please turn off your cell phones, that would be great, or put them on mute. And today's special music is our guest William Penn. And of course Rick will always be there playing wonderful piano. And our speaker today is Dr. Maurita.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What a pleasure it is to see you this morning, to be together in all this rain. We've had enough rain. You were courageous to come, and I thank you. And I also welcome all the folks who are looking at us on the internet today. Welcome to you too, a warm one. I'm going to start with a Bible verse. Good place to start, isn't it? This is a familiar one. From Psalm 118. This is the day the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day the Lord hath made. Well, I'll tell you. We get up in the morning, put our feet on the floor and go to the bathroom and do what we need to do there every morning. And we get up after that and get dressed, prepare ourselves for the day. Well, do we prepare ourselves for the day? Do we get dressed mentally as well? Not usually. Sometimes we're thinking about the to-do list or what has to be done concerning this or that. We don't get dressed mentally. And that could be the magic moment, actually, that sets the tone for the whole day. We need to dress ourselves mentally, just as we dress ourselves physically. We need to set the intention for the day, the theme, if you wish, for the day. And couldn't get a better one than saying, this is the day that the Lord hath made. It's made for me. It's made so that I can give and receive in abundance from my world. This is the day the Lord hath made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Let's do. Let's be glad for every day. Oh, I've got this to do, and I don't want to do that. This is an unpleasant person. Let's be glad for this day anyway. Why? It's an amazing thing how things change, how the energy between yourself and another person will change once you set the intention of understanding and peace and love. So, not a bad idea. See if you can't try it tomorrow morning. That's the 116th Psalm, 24th verse, 118th Psalm. 118th Psalm, the 24th verse. It can make a day full of brightness, full of sunshine, full of harmony, rather than a day that you climb into bed that night thinking, well, I'm glad that was over. Dress your mind. Dress your intentions, just as you dress yourself, your body. It will be a good day, a wonderful day, when you do.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Come and find the quiet center in this crowded life we lead. By the room for hope to enter, find the frame where we are free. Clear the chaos and the clutter, clear our eyes that we might see all the things that really matter. Be at peace and simply be. Silence is the friend who calms us, cools the heat and slows the pace. God it is who speaks and names us, knows our being, touches space, making space within our thinking. Living shades to show the sun, raising courage when we were shrinking, finding scope for things begun. In the spirit, let us travel, open to each other's pain. Let our love and fears unravel. Celebrate the space we gain. There's a place for deepest dreaming. There is time for hearts to care. In the spirit, loudly scheming, there is always room to spare. So come and find the quiet center in this crowded life we lead. Clear the chaos and the clutter, clear our eyes so that we might see all the things that really matter. Be at peace and simply be.
Thank you, William. That was lovely. Well, this is the time in our service when we just get still. Most of us, or many of us, don't take time to just be, to get still. Our days are so full. There's much to do. So let's do it now. Let's close our eyes and go within and put everything that's been in your mind to the side. take that deep breath. Let it out slowly. And another deep breath. Checking from the top of our head to the bottoms of our feet. Making sure that there's not any tension anywhere. The face or shoulders, the arms, hands, the back or stomach or the legs, feet. As we relax the body, then the mind has a way of getting still. And in this stillness, in the quietude, we reach out mentally and emotionally and acknowledge omnipresence. God right here, God right now, within and without. God who knows everything about us and loves us unconditionally. Oh yeah, but I've made mistakes. Done things that I'm not real proud of, perhaps. Lost my temper. But God does not see that. That all good presence sees nothing but good. God sees process within you. And for that there is nothing but love. God knew what He put within you, and it is His own being. His image. He didn't make any mistakes with you. All is in divine order concerning you and your God and your world, whether it looks like it or not. We can rejoice in that. We can bask in the sunshine of God's love. We can be assured about it, certain. We can reach out, as it were. Reach out for God and know God is reaching in at the same time. We're connecting. Stillness, inner quietude. It's so precious as we feel that presence, feel that love. Know that we are the most important thing in God's universe. Each and every one of us. Because He only made souls in His image. Precious to Him. And we know at the same time that each and every one who is dear to us, all those who are on our Valley Community Church prayer list, all our armed forces near and far in our country and around the world, our government, the leadership of the governments of all the world, all are in God's love. And In the next 90 seconds, we give thanks for that love. We affirm it. We affirm it for all, knowing that is something we really can't do without. We bask in it. We heal in God's love. Accept it. Revel in it. Right now. Come unto me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. I will give you love. I always give you protection. I always give you direction, if you will but listen. I always give you good, if you can accept it. I have given you my very self, if you will believe it. And I forever give you love. For that love, that direction and protection, that good, beloved Father, Mother, God, we give thanks. Amen. Well, I skipped right over the statement of being. So let's say that. Is it up there? Yes. Thank you. Shall we say that first, and then we'll say the Lord's Prayer? God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God, and am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. And now shall we say our Lord's Prayer, the translation from the Aramaic, the language of Jesus. Our Father, who is everywhere, your kingdom is come, your will is throughout the earth, even as it is throughout the universe. You give us our needful bread from day to day, and you forgive our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And you let us not enter into materialism, but you separate us from error because yours are the kingdom, the power, and the song and praise from all ages, throughout all ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth. Amen. Well, this morning I'm going to be talking about what I've been talking about, which is the Ten Commandments. This is the third time I've approached this subject. It's a rich one. Emmett Fox wrote a book about the Ten Commandments, and there's so much to mine out of that book. So I'm sharing it with you, little segments at a time. The next commandment that Fox talks about and gives his spiritual interpretation is the ninth commandment. Now, we've already talked about the first, the third, and the eighth commandments. Now we're talking about the ninth. And Fox says that properly understood, that one might be the most important of all the commandments. Now that's saying quite a bit, isn't it? If we should take it literally, it just says we can't tell lies about other people. And that simple interpretation is true, and it's very important. Unfortunately, many of us are guilty of transgressing that commandment, and we don't really mean to, but sometimes we repeat something we've heard. And a little gossip. Oh, did you hear da-da-da-da? Yeah. And it doesn't happen to be true. And we might have passed it on, too. Or maybe we've just heard one side, one person's version of what went on, and the other person is unfairly portrayed or blamed for something. Now, we don't mean to bear false witnesses, certainly, but sometimes we might have. Dr. Fox points out, though, in politics, the other candidate is often accused of just really awful things. So obviously things haven't changed very much since this book was published in the 1930s, because at least one candidate seems to be breaking this spiritual law, bearing false witnesses. We hear about tirades in the newspaper these days, see it on TV. But Dr. Fox says we all have to be so very careful about what we say. Why? Because whatever you say about another person is going to happen to you. Huh? Yep. As you sow, so shall you reap. As a matter of fact, Jesus said exactly the same thing in the book of Matthew. He said, with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye mete, it shall be measured to you again. Ooh, right back in our laps. Now, we are a group of people, and that includes those folks who are on the internet looking at us. All of us are people who are doing our very level best to live in spiritual harmony and with what the Bible calls righteousness. This is something we want to really be careful about if we're really working at those things. What we say. We don't want to bear false witness, and we don't want a load of trouble because, well, that's what we've sown. But then, of course, Fox points out a yet deeper meaning, something similar to what we've already heard from him, and that is, you cannot permanently bear false witness. Because, why? After a period of time, people, they see right through you. They see you for what you are, as untrustworthy. You can't depend on what that person says. Instead, our central spiritual task really is to bear truth, or be true witnesses to the truth of our own being. Now, what am I talking about? Our true being is the full expression of health, harmony, love, joy, freedom of expression, domination, or rather dominion in our lives. Not domination, but possessing ourselves and being comfortable in ourselves, proud of ourselves. In other words, we have to strive to fully express what we are, what we really are as children of God. Anybody doing that yet? Well, we're trying. But really, there isn't anyone at this time or any other time, even Dr. Fox, I would say, who hasn't at least sometimes felt limitations, felt they had problems. They were faults of character. They acknowledged these things. They might have felt illness or fear or lack. With the possible exception of Jesus of Nazareth, we're all heir to this. And this certainly is not being true to our being, our spiritual being. Now, Fox goes on to say some in-your-face statements. He says, and I quote, "Look in a mirror. Do you look like a Greek god or goddess? Are you surrounded only by delightful, wise, inspiring, powerful people? Do you have all the abundance you could possibly use? Are your relatives, friends, associates, people who never made mistakes, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? You know, we attract to ourselves people who have much the same consciousness that we do." Ouch. Ouch. Fox is saying very plainly, really, that we have a lot of spiritual work to do before we are no longer breaking that 9th commandment, because bearing true witness to one and all is acting, is being, thinking, speaking in harmony with our child of God nature, with that infinite goodness that is within us. Last Friday, some of us saw a Zoom lecture, a Zoom lecture in this room, and it was the keynote speaker at the IONS conference, the International Association for Near-Death Studies. And this keynote speaker was a woman by the name of Anita Morjani. In February 2006, Anita was in a coma. She was dying of lymphoma. She had tumors the size of lemons all over her body. Her family had gathered around her because the doctor said she only had a few hours to live. Her organs were shutting down. And although her body was in a coma, Anita was having a profound spiritual experience. Now, most souls object vehemently to being told that they have to go back into their physical body because there's more work for them to do on this plane of existence, on Earth. But on the other hand, she realized that she needed to come back. She had to return because she had to share these wonderful spiritual lessons that she had learned. And to everyone's amazement, she opened her eyes, woke up out of the coma, and told everybody she was going to get well. I thought, yeah. Well, within 5 days, there was a 70% reduction in the size of her tumors. In 3 weeks, she was pronounced cancer-free. CAT scans found nothing. Because our IONS meeting was featuring her talk, I went to YouTube and I wanted to see one of her lectures. And her amazing experience taught her certain basic ideas that anybody and everybody would be wise to follow. Because it dovetails so nicely with Dr. Fox, his ideas about the Ninth Commandment. I just wanted to share that with you this morning. Now, Anita identified the most important thing we need to do, and Jesus agrees. It's something that would lead us to ever more fully express the child of God nature within. So it would be obeying the Ninth Commandment. What was it? It was to love ourselves. To love ourselves. Now I heard this, and I found myself confronting myself. I began asking myself, do you love yourself? Well, I certainly don't dislike myself, but do I love myself? Well, I almost always feel inwardly peaceful and content, but that isn't the same as loving yourself. I guess I haven't. I guess I haven't been loving myself, and that's something I really need to do. Because, why? Jesus said it was important. Now he said, and the Pharisees were trying to trap him, you know, they wanted him to say something that was religiously incorrect. What was the greatest commandment of all? And he told them to love God with your whole being. And then he said, and the second is like unto it. It was as important. You love your neighbor as yourself. But that means you have to love you too. Because if you don't love yourself, you really can't love others. You can't love your neighbor, your friends. And you can't love God. It starts with you. Oh my. How many times I've stood right here and talked about the Great Commandment. But I never really asked myself, do you love yourself? No. Has anybody here ever asked that question of themselves? I mean, aha! Hey, you're doing much better than I am. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. We have to love ourselves. But for those who have already begun answering that question for themselves, that's fine, but how about the ones that haven't? In other words, how do you do this? How do you love yourself? Well, do we love our bodies? Well, most of us don't enjoy perfect good health. I mean, there's always something, you know, troubles us, a pain here, a headache, or you know, feel that tummy doesn't feel very good from time to time. There aren't too many of us that look like movie stars. If we had such a body, such a face, would it be easier to love ourselves? My feeling is that even the movie stars find things about themselves that they don't like, and they try to mask those things. But while we're not always pleased with our bodies or the way we look sometimes, we are probably all awed and thankful for the amazing complexity of our bodies, for the wondrous things they do to protect us from all the bacteria and all the things outside of ourselves. the most part, is waging a battle constantly. And is, when we do get ill, it's healing us. It's the recuperative powers. They're wonderful. And the miracle of life itself is an amazing thing. But do we love our bodies? I don't think so. How about our minds? Oh, it's been said that the 3 pounds of gray matter between our ears is the most complex thing in the universe. That's how complicated it is, how wonderful. It runs the body, keeps things going. Sometimes we're very pleased with our minds, so we remember that name that we needed at the right time. We figured something out that was complicated. Other times, we blame our minds for misleading us, for misinforming us, for taking the wrong view of things, for getting us into trouble at times. Sometimes it continues to bring up bad memories for us, unpleasant. Certainly the mind is the home of the ego. The mind often lets our emotions color how we speak or act. It keeps us stewing and angry and upset about various things from time to time. Now, if we've gotten into the habit of negative thinking, our minds can darken our whole life experience. If, though, we keep a positive, more positive frame of mind, well, life can become a wonderful experience. It's possible that we have mixed feelings about our mental faculties, but do we love it, this mind of ours, as wonderful as it is, and as troublesome as it sometimes is? Do we love our minds unequivocally? Well then, how can we love ourselves without any qualifications? The part of us that we can love wholeheartedly is the part of us that is immortal. It's the part of us that was made in God's image. We call it different things. We sometimes call it the soul, Christ within, the superconscious mind, other things too. But this amazing, non-physical part of us was long, long ago pronounced good and very good. It was given dominion by God. That's what it says in the Bible. This part of us is one with ultimate being. It's the primary part of us. It's the embodiment, really, of the life force. Because when it leaves, well, the body just turns into disintegrating protein. It's the seat of intuition. It's the source of those aha moments where you go, oh, I got it, I see. Those creative ideas that pop into your mind. That's where it comes from. God identified himself to Moses as I am that I am. Another name for the soul is I am. When you say I am, and by the way, no one can say that to you but you, every time you say I am, you are actually referring to that part of yourself that has never known birth or death or anything in between. It has always and only known eternity. It has never not known its oneness with God. A number of people have learned that if you just close your eyes and you relax and get still, and you sincerely ask the Christ within a question, or you say, thy will be done, show me the way, the answer will come. It will come. Maybe not right that second, usually not that second. But at some unexpected moment, the answer comes bubbling into mind. For me, it's the first thing in the morning when I wake up. There's an idea. There's something, an answer to a question. It is your soul's seat of wisdom. It is that source of empathy within you for others. It is love and kindness. It is the impulse of generosity and that wonderful feeling that comes after you have given of yourself. How could it be hard to love this most essential part of ourselves? The idea, though, is to identify yourselves as that. To identify yourself as your I am, the better part of you, the best part of you. And the more you do it, the more you identify with your inner being, the better things go, the better things happen. The more you practice loving yourself, that's with a capital S, your authentic, true self, the more endorphins flow into your body. And the more the greater feeling of just well-being and the healing that goes on when those endorphins flood your body. Oh, to be desired, absolutely, that healing from within. The more you revel in, you give thanks for the grandeur of the divine in you, the more you think of it, and the more you identify as that, because that is you. The more you love that magnificent part of you, the better everything is. Each time it comes to mind, you'll find yourself smiling on the inside, and sometimes on the outside as well, loving yourself. Do it. Perhaps others of you, some of you have found another way to do it, but that's a good way too. Love yourself. Love your incredible, eternal, inner Christ self, God's image in you. And the thing is that when you do this, you are also obeying the 9th commandment. You are bearing true witness to the expression of your child of God nature. So, put it at the front of your mind. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. Let's go within. And give thanks for this unbelievably good, unbelievably powerful, unbelievably wondrous dimension of us that we can love so easily. Beloved Father, beloved Mother, beloved friend, beloved creative Spirit, who made this possible, who created the soul and endowed it with such power and goodness, right action, wisdom, truth, love. We give thanks. We give thanks for the capacity to love ourselves, to ignore those things that we haven't done very well in the past, the mistakes we might have made, the mistakes other people might have made, and remember only to love ourselves and watch the miracles unfold. Thank you that it is so. Amen.
Someone asked the question, why do I sing? When I lift my voice to Jesus, what do I really mean? Someone may be wondering, when I sing my song, times I may be crying, and nothing's really wrong. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. God's eye is on the sparrow, and He's the reason why I sing. Glory, hallelujah. He's the reason why I sing. Glory, hallelujah. He's the reason why I sing. When the song is over and you say amen, in your heart keep singing, and the song will never end. He'll never ask you, was it just a show? You lift your voice, be a witness, and you tell the whole world no. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. God's eye is on the sparrow, and that's the reason why I sing. Glory, hallelujah. He's the reason why I sing. Glory, hallelujah. He's the reason why I sing. Glory, hallelujah. He's the reason why I sing. And I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. God's eye is on the sparrow. He's the reason why I sing. He's the reason why I sing. His eye is on the sparrow, and He's the reason why I sing.
Blessing of the gift.
I thought that you were going to make some announcements.
Blessing of the gifts. The blessing of the gifts first.
The blessing of the gifts.
Oh, I thought we were going to do this before. Okay, excuse me, got that mixed up.
That's okay. We're flexible.
Well, right now, I can't see it. I have the wrong notes there. Right now, we're going to bless the gifts, those things that are given in love this day to support this church. Shall we say it together? Today, I acknowledge God, omnipresent, the source of all good, as the source of my good. With the acknowledgement, I accept His will, which is abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I accept the gifts of life and the divinity of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God. And not only do we thank the people in this room for their gifts to support the church, but we thank those who are looking at us on the internet. If our church services are helpful to you, give you interesting or useful ideas, we thank you so much for sending us a contribution. You know, small churches don't have a huge budget, but they do have a budget. and your help is both needed and appreciated. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hope the sun comes out for a little while today. First off, before we get started, I want to, I know that the speakers are always here every Sunday, and but I wanted to give a special thanks to Rick. He's always here with beautiful piano music, and also to Ann, who is always here on Sunday mornings to help me get things done. So thanks both of them so much. It's always nice to know that he's always going to be here, and I know Ann's always going to be here to help me every Sunday, and I really do appreciate it. So thank them again for all that they do. So we appreciate it. I know I do. The next 2 Saturdays, this 22nd and the 29th, we're having work days at the church. There's lots to be done. I know we usually have one in the spring and one in the fall, but as we know, that all got kicked to the side in the spring. So we've got a list of things that we want to try to get done. I don't know that we'll get them all done, but so you can pick whatever you want to work on. It's going to be from 10 to 2. You can come and stay as long as you want, do what you can. We appreciate it. We've got a lot of yard work to do. We need to pull the carpet up on the front steps out there and get that glue up so we can put down some other rubber runners out there for the steps. Also, the 2 bathrooms in the annex need to be painted. These light fixtures need to be taken down and dusted and washed. Don't look too close, but there's lots of webs up there. So anyhow, those need to be done, and there's lots of outside work that needs to be done. So anything that you can do to help, and some people say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, you can come and support people. You can carry them some water or bring them some coffee or something. So we appreciate that. Anything that anybody can do. We're going to do it for 2 Saturdays in a row, and hopefully that if one Saturday doesn't work, another one will. So we appreciate that. And I'll be making an announcement later in the week to remind people of that. The flowers today are sponsored by Judy Mason in memory of her son Chip. I'll call Judy and see what she wants me to do with her flowers since she's not here today. Today also, after church, Ann and I are going to do lunch, and then we're going to, this trash can out here has some brush in it that the trash people won't pick up, so we've got to cut it up and put it in a smaller container trash thing, or I have to take some out home because they won't pick up brush here at the church because we're a nonprofit, so they won't pick it up. So we have to do something. So if anybody is willing to come back and help us after lunch or go to lunch with us, we would greatly appreciate any help we can get along with coming out again next weekend. So also, one of the things that we have talked about, and this is we haven't had any fundraisers this year other than our store, which amazingly has brought in quite a bit of money since nobody's been here. Now Laura's going to get together exactly how much it has made, but with a few people that have been here since church started back, and we had a couple of our groups that kept meeting, so we've made some money off of the little store, but that has been the only fundraiser that we've had. But we have, our parking lot needs some work done on it, and we've gotten some estimates on it, and we're going to get some more, but it's a goal we're going to set to do for the spring. The estimates are ranging from $4,500 to, I think we already got one of $50,000, which that one's going to be, like, we're going to forget about that one. But anyhow, but there's a goal that we have to work for to get the parking lot fixed or something done to it. So in the meantime, we're going to keep the weeds cut down out of it and whatever we need to do until, but that is our goal for the spring, is to try to, so we'll see how much money we get raised between now and probably April, and see what we can do for the parking lot. So just keep that in mind. And again, with the store, Martha brings new things all the time. She has people that are moving or whatever, and they give her all kinds of stuff. Some stuff is brand new, and she puts it in the store, and you get it for a whole lot cheaper price than you would if you go to the store. So if you've got anything that you want to volunteer to put in the store for us to sell, we'll gladly take it. So we'll do that also. So keep that in mind. That's some of the things we're going to be working on. Also, this is just a little information thing. I know that we do not talk politics at the church mostly, but we do tell people to vote. We recommend that they vote. We highly do that. We do not tell you who to vote for. People are adults. They know their own mind. So this church does not tell you who to vote for, but we do ask that you do vote. The reason I'm bringing this up is because there's such a controversy right now as to how to vote and what's going on. So the thing is, if you have any questions about how to vote or the mail-in ballots or where to go, please see me because I've got some of the information, or I can get it for you. I know people live in the city, the county, everywhere. So I just want to make sure that people don't get the wrong information about the voting. And I know I'm starting early, but voting's starting early, so I wanted to make sure that this message gets out. It's very important that people vote. Too many people have suffered for you to have that right, so would you make sure that you do it. So again, if you have if you don't know all the information or you have questions, please see me. If I don't have the information or the answer, I will get it for you. So that being said, Maurita, do you have anything else?
No,
Anybody else have any announcements they want to make or say? Or okay, this is your last Monday night class.
Judy and Glenn won't be there, so
Okay.
she's going to the doctor.
Yes, actually Judy's having surgery tomorrow, so everybody keep her in prayer. I'm sure everything's going to be fine for her. So yeah, this is Nancy's last class for the principals, and you're still doing journaling on Tuesdays and reading every Wednesday night and coffee every Wednesday night in Mill Mountain, and hopefully we can get back to doing some other things. But this is a time of change, and I was looking at the calendar and school starting and different things are going on, and everybody, even though there's a lot of changes going on in the world, but also in people's lives. You know, we've got people that kids are going to school, kids are moving out, this and that, and other things that are going on. And so a lot of changes going on in people's lives, and so we just need to lift each other up, and we try to do that. So that's why we try to, at least we're trying to have our coffee and our other things so that we can keep people together. And so nothing, and I've said this before, you know, some of the people aren't coming to church because they're just don't want to come out of the house, and I understand that, but we need to keep these people in mind, send them a card, give them a call, whatever, and the church has done that. They've sent cards, and I know I've sent cards to different people and try to call them just to make sure that they know that they're not forgotten, because people like EJ is on lockdown and they can't come out, and so we need to let them know that they're being thought of, that we haven't forgotten about them. So, alrighty. I think I've talked enough.
Shall we have a final blessing, going within and knowing that within us is the most spectacular of creations. Within each one of us is the image of God. Within us is power and love, right action, peace, joy, abundance, all good. And as we see it, see ourselves as it, we will love ourselves in a way we had not loved ourselves before. For God's help in doing this, for His love expressed in and through us, to us, we give deepest thanks. Amen.
Amen.